Yeah, hey, we're good. Hey everyone. I'm here with whatever Amy. How you doing?
Hi,
Was America's sweetheart? Is that right?
America's internet sweetheart.
Oh man, no. Um no, thank you for being here. It's great to have you.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate
No,
it.
no, thank you. What's your thing? I know I've seen you on the with Chrissy Mayer, other
Mhm.
female empowerment and stuff. What's your thing? What do you what's your
I
gimmick?
mean, I really just kind of started off on Twitter years ago and just, tweeting about my life and my commute to the city and just weird things that I would see along the way and that would happen to me. And my Twitter page just kind of continued growing, growing, growing. And it kind of became a avenue for other, my YouTube and OnlyFans and all sorts of other things. So it all started with Twitter, and I just kind of consider myself like a social media personality, I guess, because I'm really just out here having fun.
No, and that's what it's all about, right? Just having
Yeah,
fun. It's great that you could make sort of a career and get behind it where you can promote yourself and stuff.
yeah.
So you are an OnlyFans, like that's your sort of thing, or what else do you do as far as
Well, I have Twitter, I have YouTube. I appear on a lot of different podcasts, and I really, I do have an OnlyFans and a Loyal Fans, and I'm on Playboy Centerfold. But those are really just they kind of were afterthoughts. I really started an OnlyFans on a whim. I already had 100,000 followers on Twitter, so people were always asking to buy my pictures, and I was like, let me just give it a shot and see. And it blew up, and I just have a lot of fun with it. So
oh,
it's
it's great.
it's a good time. It's very
Eh,
liberating. It's very empowering, and I've always been a sexual person, so I really enjoy showing that side of me.
okay, and then you said you're a Playboy centerfold.
I'm on Playboy Centerfold. They have a website of their own, so I am
Okay,
part of the
no,
Playboy family.
that must be man, that's like something I'd put on my resume.
I'm very excited to be associated with them for sure.
No, that's pretty cool. I mean, I of course you've seen like documentaries about this or that with Playboy, but that's still a pretty high praise, you
Yes.
know. Uh, and as far as like your OnlyFans, you're not yeah, I could tell if you're doing the OnlyFans, you're not ashamed at showing off your body. Did
Yeah.
it take you a while to get used to that, or you said you
Um,
already?
I think when I started, I really wasn't sure just how comfortable I would be. So if you scrolled all the way back, 2.5 years to my first posts, they're probably well, I know they're much more chaste than now. So, but once I got comfortable and, everybody was so positive, and then I just started to become a little less inhibited and all of that. So, now I'm just free as a bird.
And I've noticed that like with some, I mean, I'm a man too, so I've noticed it with some OnlyFans that you share some and people want a little bit more or a little bit more or
Well,
a
I think
little bit
people are always
more.
trying to push the boundaries, and see what they can get. But, I think everybody has their own set of limitations, and people either respect them or they don't.
And as far as OnlyFans, what do you provide like services as far as like chatting with your
Oh yeah, I
uh
answer all my own messages. Same
uh-huh.
with Twitter, same with Instagram, and I answer them all. I actually don't get as many as you would think. You think with almost 500,000 followers across all my platforms that I would get a ton of messages, but I really don't get that many. It's very
Man.
manageable.
And are they mostly flattering, or there's some that are a little bit,
I would
you
say
know
1% are out there and everyone else is, fun or, respectful and, or just, truly curious. But there's like 1% that are just completely like out there.
any of them stick out to you? Like, I don't mean to, like, pry, but I know I've seen, like, as far as wrestlers go, there's like, "Oh, I'll sell my house and give you every cent and penny to,"
I,
whenever there was, like, a female wrestler, you know?
yeah, I get a lot of requests to meet me,
Mhm.
among other things, but that's definitely not in the cards.
Oh, no, of course not,
Yeah.
no. There's, I don't know, what do you call it? It's like, I forget the situation, but yeah, you have to have those limits. That's what
Yeah.
keeps, everyone safe, like, and provides
Hmm.
suitable amount of entertainment, you know?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And, as far as, like, your OnlyFans go, what do you, uh I don't know, like, the links or stuff, if you wanna, like, shout them out, but what are the, what do you provide? Like, do you do customs, or you just
I
share
do.
your body?
I do. I have a variety of content on there. I have solo, I have boy girl, I have girl, lingerie, nude. I mean, sometimes I'll do, topless Q&A. Subscribers will send me questions about myself and we'll answer them. I mean, we have a really, really good time over there. So it's, a place for fun. And I encourage everybody to, have fun with it. And they are.
And would you say, as far as, getting comfortable, were you always comfortable with, like, a girl, or were you,
No, I
or
mean,
with
my first collab was my first girl experience. So that was kind of like a double whammy, I would say. But all my experiences have been great, and all the women that I've collaborated with have been amazing. And I'm very lucky that way.
and did you grow up, sort of, not, I wouldn't say overly sexualized, but, were you used to something like this when growing up, as like,
No,
yeah, you just kinda kept to yourself, you never
yeah,
thought, like,
all
y
pushed down. No, I grew up in a very, conservative home, and my parents are very traditional, and so I didn't grow up in a communicative and let's talk about sex kind of family. But I always was boy crazy and curious, and once I kind of got both feet on the ground, I could spread my wings, I just kind of went wild, and that was it.
and, do you think, I don't know, it's a little harder now, because I know, like, me growing up, I think all I would do was, like, masturbate to, like, Terry Hatcher, from, Superman or something, and that'd be like a clip, uh, that'd be like a TV show. But
Or like the
now,
scrambled Cinemax during the day, like.
I never would watch that, I'm more into weird, like, things, so Terry Hatcher did it for me, if you know her from,
Mhm.
Desperate Housewives and
Yeah.
from Superman. She's just, like, I don't know, hot, or the Pink Ranger. But, uh, do you think, like, now with everyone having access to the internet and, like, seeing almost everything, like,
Mhm.
pages upon pages of, Pornhub and stuff, like, it's harder to keep someone's attention, I don't know, do you think that?
I think that the difference between all of the free porn out there and someone's OnlyFans is I think people join OnlyFans for the connection to that person. And
Mhm.
I've had Twitter for so many years that people really got to know me and my personality. And so it was the connection of being curious about this side of me and how would I translate, from Twitter to OnlyFans. And I believe that that's the case for most of the people that join OnlyFans. They feel some sort of connection to that person. And you have the opportunity to talk to them and you have the opportunity to see a different side of them, where when you're just watching Pornhub or other, just free sites, you don't know those people or you don't have an idea about this. There's just whatever's there. And I think that's the difference. People like, I don't pay for porn, I don't pay, and that's fine. Um, but it's also the connection. So, and the time. So I take a lot of pride in curating my content. Um, to keep a variety and to cast a wide net of my audience. People like different things or are looking for different experiences with you. And I think that's kind of the lure of these subscription sites, is learning more and having more of a connection with that person, which you wouldn't get just watching anything on the internet.
Yeah, of course. You're watching like characters almost. I wouldn't say celebrities. I mean, I don't know any porn celebrities. I don't know them by name, but they're characters in a story.
Right.
Whereas here you're able to actually interact with the people, like you said, like yourself.
Right.
That you could. It's a more of a connection,
Right. You wouldn't
and
necessarily have, access to them. And even famous porn stars like Sophie D and Jenna Jameson, like these women that, came up through the years, they also have, like, you can have a conversation with them if you wanted. So, I mean, the access is completely different these days. And it's not necessarily buying porn. It's buying that connection, the
yeah,
opportunity
it's a
to have that.
it's a whole nother level of connection, like you said, and it
Hmm.
does. I don't know. I would say it's a good thing and a bad thing, wouldn't you say? Because I imagine you'd have some people who think that you owe them more than what they. I'm not saying they deserve from you, but this is strictly still
Yeah.
business. You
Yeah,
know?
and I've had a few people, not too many, that are, they come in on a sale for $7 and they want access to you 24 hours a day and constant chatting and I want you to do this and I want you to do that, and I'm like, no, that's not what we're doing here.
No,
Um,
and even if they were to pay some sort of premium, they don't own you. You're you.
correct,
You know what I mean?
right.
This is still
I have to sleep.
a mhm. Yeah. You got your own life to live. And do you see that? Does that ever interrupt your personal life? I'm sure everyone's business life gets in the way of their personal life, let alone what profession you're in. But do you see it like, taking over more, or does it get in your way?
I mean, if you want to be paid like a business, you have to treat it like a business. And for me, I've been very lucky that my platforms are all very successful. But they're all, for me, very manageable because I don't have to do this for 8 hours a day. There's ways that I can organize my time and do what I need to do, as well as have a life. So, but not everybody has the organization and the planning to do that. And people are just kind of running around every day trying to shoot content and do things when you don't have to do that. You're making it harder for yourself.
Mhm. Mhm. And I would say like let's ask some random stuff here. What do you do like for hobbies as far as when you do have your free time? Is there
I
anything?
play golf.
Oh, you play
I
golf?
play golf. I'm a golfer.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, I that sounds fun, but it sounds too fancy too. Like you got to
It's
have
very
a
frustrating. It's very, very frustrating.
like I remember seeing Tiger Woods limping playing golf from injuries, and it's like you were just playing golf. Like, what are you doing? You're just swinging all day, but I guess there's more to it than that.
Well,
Uh,
for him, he's swinging millions of times in the same direction. Your body, after a while, it's not meant to go that way.
yeah. Well, doing anything
And you're not doing
repetitive.
the opposite way either. So it's not like you're being even keeled. If you're doing a bicep curl on your right, you're doing a bicep curl on your left. Golf, you're either righty or lefty, and that's just how you go every time.
And I don't know if as far as all natural, all that with your body, are you all natural or
I'm custom built.
okay, and and you're proud of that? That's like that's
Yeah, I don't see
nothing
any
you.
reason, I don't think that people should have enhancements or plastic surgery and lie about it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And you shouldn't be giving other women reason to feel bad about themselves, thinking that your body is natural and they're going to feel bad about themselves because they don't look a certain way. And yeah, people can have large breasts or, a perfect ass in real life, but the likelihood of it happening 9 million times in a row is, if you're going to do something for yourself to make yourself feel better and look the way you want to look, own it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, yeah, and I would say you're absolutely right in being honest about it because then you're setting these beauty standards for the
And
younger
that's not fair.
generation.
And I grew up wanting to look a certain way and, feeling bad about myself because I didn't fit the norm in terms of a body style that was popular when I was growing up and dating. And so I know how that feels. And I would never do that to somebody, like, yeah, I have fake boobs. I, get fillers and Botox. And, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, and did you do it? Oh, you did it more for your own feelings rather than sort of a professional sort of reason, or it just
I
hand in
mean, I got
hand.
my first set of boobs in 2006, so the internet was barely there. I mean, certainly didn't do it for any business reason.
And oh man, I just lost my question there. No, and you I'm sorry, dude. I'm completely blanking out about this. I'm thinking about all I'm thinking about is boobs now. I
Oh,
got that
sorry.
in my head.
They are distracting.
um, nope, I can't think of it. What would you think of like how everyone right now is sort of wanting to be not their gender? Like, do you think that's I don't know. Do you have anything? I don't mean to pry about political stances and all that, but
I
what do you
think
think?
that
How do you feel about
people,
that?
I think people should do what makes them feel the best about themselves and their true self. Um, and, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that, if you feel a certain way, you should be able to live that way. I don't think that we should be criminalizing people for feeling a certain way. I mean, people um, transitioning has been around for many, many years. And,
Hmm.
the trans people that I know and have experience with they just want to be accepted and um, treated the same as everybody else. They don't, they're not shouting from the rooftops. They want to live as a man. They want to be treated like a man and just kind of go about their day. It's not, you know what I mean? That's just been my experience. I don't, it's not my place to judge others for wanting to make a change in their life. I don't really care either way.
Well, yeah, and it's not hurting anyone. It's just in their own life, their circle,
Right.
sort of like your, and that now the question just came to me as
Mhm.
far as oh my god, I'm losing again. I keep thinking about boobs. I'm so sorry. You're just so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
As far as plastic surgery, what do you say? Would you say there's a too young time to do it and a good time to do it? Where like maybe a girl 10 years old wants this done, can get it
Oh,
done, but it's like, oh, think
no.
about it first and then go ahead and get it
Yeah.
done.
I mean, think back to all of the terrible decisions you've made in your life at a young age that you're like, wow, that was a really dumb idea. Certainly plastic surgery at a young age could be one of them. And I am all for, the exception to that rule, I think, is if someone has, a deformity or
Hmm.
something major that is really going to affect their
Like a
lives. And,
cleft lip or something, you
right.
know.
Or,
Yeah.
we see kids that get their ears pinned back, or there's certain things that I think warrant correction within reason. But in terms of altering your body for, I don't think pleasure is the right word, but for your own, I think cosmetic surgery is something that really needs to be thought on and planned, and it should be done when you are really mature enough to handle it,
Mhm.
because it comes with sometimes unwanted attention. Sometimes people regret making these decisions, and I think you really have to have a good head on your shoulders and be prepared for the aftermath of your decision. Like, that's all.
Is there any sort of decision like on your, I don't know how augmented you may be,
Oh no, I love
uh
everything I did. I'll do more.
you
I'll keep going.
yeah, that's it. And you would still
Bring it on.
like is there and you say you've been doing it for so long, or no, since, would you say, when was your first procedure, you think?
Well, I got my first boob job in 2006. And I've been getting fillers and Botox in my face since then as like preventative maintenance. Um, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And then I had my boobs replaced last year. I did a little lipo. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And would you say things now are, well, I mean, yeah, you did something back then in 2006. I think I graduated around then. Did
I'm a little
has
older
it
than you.
has it changed like a lot, like to where it's like more streamlined? Is it safer? Is it like, oh
Oh,
my
and the
god, these,
procedures are,
yeah,
I mean, so different than every year they make medical advances in certain things. So, um, years and years and years ago, if you had liposuction, it was a very, rough procedure. And now they have like a little laser and they're like, "Zzz," it's like nothing.
yeah.
Um, things are so different. Yeah.
And I'm just asking another random question here. Are you into like, what do you watch for like TV, or do you watch anything unique? Do you, are you into
Um,
anime? Are you into anime? Do you do?
mhm.
And then that even goes to your OnlyFans character. Do you ever do like characters or cosplay or stuff like
Um,
that?
Not really. If someone, requests a certain outfit, then, I might do that, but not really cosplay or anything like that. I mean, I did a Jessica Rabbit set once. That was pretty popular, but for the most part, I don't really do, costumes and characters and things like that. For TV, I mean, I definitely love trashy television. So like reality shows and things like that, I like.
Oh yeah.
Um, you know, a bunch of different series and stuff that I watch. I love documentaries as well. I just watched the one about Patriot Day, the Boston bombing. That was very interesting. So I have a variety that I like.
No, that's great. And I no, I love trashy TV too, like My 600 Pound Life, and
Yep.
yeah, My Feet Are Killing Me, those types
Yeah.
of shows, you know. And how about I don't know, did you have sort of, and this might be too personal, like a religious upbringing of any sort?
I was raised Catholic, but I never really felt that it was for me. Even when I was a kid, I'm like, this just doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't, I didn't believe, I wasn't really, I knew the stories and I knew, the traditions and all of that. But even as a child, I never felt right in believing wholeheartedly in that religion and that there's someone, a greater power pulling the puppet strings. I don't, um, again, it's a lot of traditions and a lot of, things. But for me, I'm not really a religious person. I don't really
Yeah,
do anything right now.
and especially with, that, I think that's how religion is. You have that one doubt, and that's all you really need is it
Yeah. And
keeps
looking
you,
back, I'm like, wow, I really felt this way even as a kid. So for me, not believing is definitely true to my heart when I think back that even as a kid, I was like, no, this isn't right for me. I admire people that have a strong faith. I wish I did, but um, I just don't yet.
Oh no, I mean, but you do your own thing, you know. I'm sure when you I don't know, hope for something, you hope to a higher power. Do you believe there's a higher power at least, or do you think there's aliens out there? What do you think is like in
I
the
I don't know. I
at
don't
the
discount anything, but I don't necessarily have a strong feeling towards one or the other.
do you think there are aliens out there? Like
I wouldn't
uh,
doubt it. I wouldn't.
yeah.
I don't know if it's as formal as we have, with the spaceship and everything that we've said over the years, but I'm not discounting it at all.
Oh, that that's interesting. I would like to see. I don't know. I just think of like aliens getting here, and then they, having like so many more boobs, and then setting the bar even higher. Like they have the three boobs or the four boobs, and you're
Right now,
like,
I'm really going to be in trouble if I have to get
yeah.
two more sets.
No, and kind of music do you listen to? Do you listen to like soft, hard rock? What's your go-to if you're out like golfing or something?
I definitely like a variety. I like, obviously 80s, 90s, Dave Matthews. I like country. I'm not a huge metal fan, but I like different songs in various genres. Bruce Springsteen, U2. I loved Depeche Mode and The Cure growing up. I'm going to see The Cure in concert again this year, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh,
Um, so I definitely and pop stuff like I saw Whitney Houston concert, and I've definitely I've probably been to about 500 concerts in my life.
gee,
So
you saw Whitney Houston?
that was the first concert I ever saw in 1986.
Oh my god, that must have been great. She was I mean, yeah, she was a mess, but man, she could freaking sing. Whitney
Mm-hmm.
Houston, man, that's badass. No, I'd be right now. I'm
Yeah, she
like, oh
was the
shoot,
first
Whitney Houston,
concert.
and
Yeah,
how would you say as far as like oh my god, I'm sorry, you're just so distracting. I keep forgetting my questions. I think about boobs. Uh, do you think the porn the I don't want to say like the porn industry or even OnlyFans and stuff, but how it sets like an expectation now for especially men, because men are the people that I don't know, we're the sickest. I don't know what you would say. We're the ones that like, oh, we see that and we expect that in real life. Do you think it's like kind of messing with what they expect in terms of a real life relationship or what sex might
I think
be
what's
or
considered normal now has definitely changed. Like, if you are out in the dating world, and you may come across a lot of girls that have an OnlyFans account. And I know that that's a huge shift in the dynamic of people, and, your questions about dating. So, what do you do? So now you're entering immediately into this realm of talking about inhibitions and sex and what you're comfortable with, and that guy has to make a choice. Does he want to move forward with this person that may be sharing herself with others, or is that not for him? And we've never had that issue before. It was so taboo that it was very rare that you found yourself meeting someone in the porn industry. So and now everyone's got one, it seems. So
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
huge change in, I think, the dating world. And but also a lot of people are so used to it that it's not a bit. They're like, come on, what do you mean you don't have one? So it's also that shift as well. So you never know. I think things are so different. And even 10 years ago, like, texting was still new, and um, that was a huge change. You used to have to call people on the phone if you wanted to ask them for a date. So
Oh
now
yeah.
you can just block them and move on with your life. You don't even have to say goodbye to them. So
You had to
it's very different.
call to the home on the landline and hope the
The
mother
mother
doesn't
might answer,
answer.
God
Y-
forbid.
Yeah. And I don't know, like you were just saying about the OnlyFans, and then it being like an issue with the dating. Have you seen? Oh, I would say this. I know there's men on OnlyFans too. How do you
Mhm.
feel about that? Is that like I mean, you're a woman. I know you can't speak to it, but how is that dynamic there? Like as far
I
as
have several male friends that are creators. And, it's definitely it's a lot harder for them. But everyone has their own niche. So you have to kind of figure out what yours is. Um, but I find that a lot of male pages have more of a gay following. Um, it just seems to be how it is for the male content pages, unless they're working with a variety of female content creators. But for the most part, it's mostly like a male following.
yeah, and that makes sense. And with these all these apps, there's so many apps for dating now. Do you think
Yeah.
I don't know, do you think dating is becoming, I don't know, it's so interpersonal now cuz everyone is well,
I
and
think
this
it's
was like
good and I think it's bad. I think it gives you an opportunity to get in front of someone that you may not run into in real life. And think of it this way, if somebody comes up to you in a Starbucks, you're like, or the grocery store, I'm like horrified. I'm like, why are you talking to me? You know what I mean? But if you didn't have a dating app now, you wouldn't meet anyone. So
mhm.
it puts you in front of people you wouldn't normally run into. But also it desensitizes everyone to the point where they'll just ghost you, or it takes a lot longer to make that connection because you're so used to everything so fast, 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 fast.
Mhm.
Um, and you're looking at this person first. Is she attractive or is she not? And then you start talking to her. And now you have to sift through if she is worth having a conversation with or not.
No, I know I've felt that driving through a drive-through at like a burger place and
Mm-hmm.
seeing the girl handing me my order and I'm like, "Oh man, she's cute. How do I make a conversation? I only have 10 seconds before she gives me my
Did you
burger
render?
and then I have to leave." You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like what do I say? Uh but then that's been around for a while, like as far as romantic movies, you have uh everything's so unrealistic. You don't have a guy pay for your order and then he's like smooth and gives you the number and then like
Yeah.
I
Or like
would
leaving your
say
number on a napkin for the waiter.
yeah, yeah, everything, like even romantic movies set this
Yeah.
bar where it's like no, it's not like easy like that. It's not going to
Yeah.
be
The
happy
senator
ever
falls in love
after.
with the chambermaid. Yeah. No, I've never seen that
Exactly.
happen.
Like the J Lo type stuff where,
Mhm.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I have a chance. We all have a chance. What would you say as romantic movies? What's your favorite? Are you into romantic movies like
Um,
chick flicks, whatever?
I mean, I really don't watch too many movies anymore. I don't go to the movies anymore. The only first of all, I hadn't been to the movies in like over 10 years, but I finally went to the movies when Top Gun came back out for part two. Because that was like my favorite movie that came out, and I was like, absolutely. But in terms of, I mean, I've seen all the J Lo ones and all those over the years. I don't really, um,
Yeah,
I just
you don't really have a
they're
favorite. Like
entertaining, but I'm not like
you're
sitting there
not all
watching
about
our channel.
like the Notebook or P.S.
No.
I Love You or something like
I
that.
never even saw that.
Oh, you never, or the Time Traveler's Wife. Oh, I love the Time Traveler's
Never saw
Wife.
it.
It's so good.
Nope.
Um, what would you say about, I don't know. I know there's a lot of, especially nowadays with the internet, grooming and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
what would you say is like the best way to like, I don't know, keep. I don't know if you keep your kids safe or keep a woman safe because it doesn't matter what age you are. You could still be groomed into doing stuff you don't want to do. What would you think is like the best?
I think parents obviously need to be monitoring their children's activities a lot more than they are. Everyone has this thing like, not my kid, but kids are curious, and there's always some asshole friend of theirs that's going to be pushing them, to do more, learn more, check this out, or, and I think parents should monitor their kids and check their phones and see what apps. And there's a lot of safeguard apps now that you can install on your kid's phone that blocks certain things from accessing their phone. So you have to choose to utilize them or not.
Yeah, it should fall on the parents, right? Not the
Right. The kid isn't. It's not their job to monitor themselves.
no, it's
Obviously, they're not going to.
that's why you chose to have kids. You have to be a parent. You got to take care
Right.
of
You
them.
have to
That's
shepherd them growing up so that they grow up to be good people, good citizens, and have a little common sense.
oh man,
Um,
that's a lot harder nowadays, right?
yeah.
Common sense.
Unfortunately, they're raising their kids to be morons and then sending them off into the world.
And let's see, random question. What's you on your as far as your body? What's your do you have a favorite body part, or do you just go like for
Um,
you? You know the one where you're like, oh yeah, that one's the go to. Like what I really
uh, I would say my smile.
Oh, you know, you do have a fucking beautiful smile. No, it's fucking
Thanks.
great. uh, and and I don't mean to like again go into the political thing, but what do you think of? I think we talked about this, but like Dylan Mulvaney and all that stuff. Like, is it like a huge overreaction from people, or
I
uh,
think, whenever there's like the first of something, people really go berserk over it. And if we look back on, when Bruce Jenner transitioned, that was like the end of the world, this
mm-hmm,
American
mm-hmm,
icon. Now it's been living a lie and went through this whole thing. And he was just trying to be true to himself. But that was like, oh, everyone went nuts. When you look back on all of these things that are firsts, people tend to, have a very strong reaction. I don't really know too much about the Dylan Mulvaney. I know the gist of it, but the underlying, how this person came to be so in the limelight and things like that. And I'm really not up to snuff on that, but I do know that something else will come along and that will be
mm-hmm.
the end of the world for now.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree with you as far as it I may not agree with it, but yeah, it's just the flavor of the week, the distraction, the hot topic everyone wants to talk about. So yeah, I could see that.
What I have seen, I've seen a few little videos, clips, and things like that, and it doesn't seem like a bad person. Doesn't seem like it's he's trying to be sinister in any way. But I don't really know the history or really all of the details to really comment
Yeah.
one way or another. Yeah,
No, of course. I didn't want to pry like that into, where you may swing
but
as
people
far
are
as
going
that.
crazy over it.
Yeah, no,
They're
it's
going nuts.
yeah, that's something that's like literally separating our country. We've
Yeah.
just because they put a guy who wants to be a girl on a beer can. But I mean, it worked as far as marketing. It may have separated us, as a nation,
Yeah.
but
I mean, the
it
same thing happened when Colin Kaepernick first took a knee and then Nike made him the person of the year. Everybody went crazy then too. And, it's just something that has really just sparked conversation and really just been a shock to people. Something happening that is not considered the norm. And people don't like that. Um, and sometimes I agree with it and sometimes I don't. So
yeah, no, completely. I get you. And I'm gonna probably start wrap this up. I know you're a busy woman. You got busy things to do. Or do you go? Do you do the pronoun thing? Like, do you like your? I don't know.
I'm a woman. I
Huh?
go
Yeah.
by she.
Okay. Uh, have you ever really thought about having kids, or do you want to like bring more children into this world, even though this world
I
kind
always
of
saw myself with kids, but I never really tried very hard to have any.
Mhm.
I wanted to, my career was first, and I wanted to be able to, um, support them and be a partner and, be able to take care of them. So I focused on my career, but I always just thought it would kind of happen organically and naturally. And it would just kind of be like in the movies, like all of a sudden she doesn't feel good and she's like, oh, what day is it? Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I missed my period. You know what I mean? Like I thought it would be like something like that because that's what you see in the movies all the time. But it just certainly wasn't meant to be because I really also didn't put any effort into it either. So I feel like if it was supposed to happen, then it would have.
No, that's great. You're leaving
I'm
it.
not sad about it at all. I love kids and babies and real chunky ones, but I'm perfectly happy traveling on a whim and having a clean house and all my money in the bank.
Yeah, I'll say you're content with where you are. And then okay, one more lastly, did you see that and this is kind of old news, but with the M&Ms, how they were saying the M&Ms were too sexy, the female
Oh yeah.
M&Ms. Do you think they were too sexy?
No,
The M&Ms?
I thought, I really didn't I didn't analyze it at all. I didn't really care one way or another. I didn't think it needed to be changed. But I also see a lot of brands do, after so many years, you do need to kind of do a little housekeeping. It's, make things a little more modern and, tweak the logo and stuff. And I think everyone is so nervous about offending people and not, um, having enough variety for everyone's opinion, that they're just going overboard now and changing everything or adding so many more characters or it's they're trying to just make sure that all their bases are covered and that everyone has someone that they can identify with.
Mhm.
So and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I i hope they're doing it in a way that's not excluding other people. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there should be a balance.
Yeah, and but it seems to always be, and that's been since from the, I think, the beginning of time, that sex sells.
Right.
Uh it always seems to go more towards changing the female rather than changing the male, cuz you don't really have you
Yeah,
know.
they're not saying, the man is the sex symbol. They're saying, the Marilyn Monroes and the, you know what I mean, the women. But
Mhm.
did they change her? Did they make her look less sexy because they're trying to market to more of a child base, or they wanted someone to look more ambiguous?
Yeah, I don't, and that's, I guess you don't know their like motives, so I guess that's maybe the argument, cuz you
Mm,
don't want to argue that they're trying to promote this to children and then make sex
right.
normalized to children and all that.
Right.
Uh have you seen like the male M&Ms? Is there any one you would particularly
They're like
uh
a whole
have?
fleet of like dad bods. But they make them look like the seven dwarfs. It's like dopey, sneezy, you know what I mean? Like that's what the male M&Ms remind me of. It's like,
is there i-
grumpy.
is there one you would like, hit up, like the yellow one or the orange one or the blue one?
I always liked the green M&Ms. I don't even think they have them anymore.
I think that
It was
that's the
like green,
female.
yellow, brown, black, and red. And then they got rid of red for a long time. Then they had blue for a little while. So
Mhm.
it's been
Mhm.
so long since I had M&Ms, I couldn't even tell you. They could all be like orange for now. I don't know.
Well, no, and I appreciate you taking the time to come on, the show. I
Thanks for
really
having
appreciate
me.
it. No, it was really great. You're such a nice person, beautiful,
Thank you so
beautiful
much.
inside and out. Why don't you tell us where, we could find you, plug all your stuff, like.
Yeah, you can find everywhere I'm at on whateveramy.com. All my links are there. Stop by Twitter and say hi to me. I answer all my messages myself. So say hi.
Oh yeah, no, I know you do answer. You answered to me, and I was like, "Oh, she's so sweet." She is the internet's favorite sweetheart, whatever Amy.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Thank you so much for your time, and yeah, no, thank you again. I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Uh huh. And we're out. Let's